So it doesn't happen often, but every now and then there's games that come around that I just really want to share my first impression of. With No Rest for the Wicked, I gotta say, this game is insane. It is so good. If you like RPGs, you like Souls-likes of any kind, you will love this game. But a good friend of mine asked when I told him about how cool this game was, he said, well, then why is there Steam mixed reviews? Because the performance is very, very poor right now. They need to optimize it. Little bit of a history lesson. This game is made by the same team that made the Ori games. If you've never played those, they're some of the best Metroidvanias out there. With beautiful artistic direction, insane movement and control that you have over your character, and just overall really, really good games. And so since the last Ori game, the developers have been chipping away at No Rest for the Wicked, which is a brand new IP from them. It's essentially a top-down Diablo Souls-like. But here's the thing. I have played a ton of Souls-like games because it's one of my favorite genres. One of the biggest issues that I have with so many Souls-likes is a lot of them just kind of get the job done. You know what I mean? Like they kind of just copy what Dark Souls did and maybe put like one or two twists on it. But every now and then you get a game like this, where it is not just trying to be Dark Souls, it is inspired by Dark Souls. They are 100% doing their own thing. There's a lot of similar mechanics, but the unique top-down perspective and the company's AAA quality animations really help you to immediately get immersed in this world. Now, despite the complaints about performance issues, like they're really bad, lots of people can't even play this game right now. But because these developers are so experienced, they've already got a day one post talking about the known issues. They mentioned that performance is pretty bad. They're aiming to have an immediate GPU patch. They do mention lowering the settings and trying to install this game on an SSD. Oh, and they're also aiming to add a pause function when you're in single player. So the funny thing is that this game is actually going to have multiplayer. I thought it had multiplayer already, but that's actually on their roadmap. Honestly, I think it's pretty smart for them to just not have the multiplayer enabled so that they can focus on damage control with optimizing and performance. And then they can add the multiplayer in later, which would, be a whole other bag of issues. There's also apparently an issue with collision where sometimes you can get stuck or fall through the map. You just gotta leave the game and reload from your last whisper, which is basically your bonfire. They also mentioned that there can be progression loss, in which case you'll have to go to the main menu and load a backup save. And I'm not really seeing anybody draw attention to this. I mean, I don't know if anybody even knows that this post exists because it was just out so quickly after release. But this is a video about whether or not you should buy this game or if I recommend it. In which case, yes, 100%, this game is incredible and deserves to be on the Game of the Year list. Like 100%. The gameplay does not speak for itself. When you start actually playing the game, you will just know, you can feel it. However, I would recommend that you hold off until they've had some performance updates. But at the very least, you could buy the game now because it's on sale and then wait for performance issues to be resolved before you actually dig deep. Right now, this game is in early access on PC, but they do have plans to bring it to Xbox and PlayStation, which does mean there's going to be some considerable level of optimization to the performance coming. Because if somebody like me, who has a 4070 Ti and a God PC, is still getting stuttering and frame rate issues, then I don't know how they expect to get this game to run on consoles, which are basically half the power of my system.